Most men believe that women fall in love because of what they say or do, through compliments, flowers, dates, or sweet messages. They think love happens through logic, like checking off boxes on a list. But the truth is far from that. A woman doesn't fall for what you say. She falls for how she feels when she's around you. And most of the time, she's not even aware it's happening. It's not a loud, obvious process. It's slow, quiet, emotional, and often hidden beneath the surface of everyday moments. One of the most important yet overlooked moments is when she goes quiet, when she pulls back, when her energy shifts. This is where most men panic. They start over-explaining, asking questions, chasing for reassurance, or pushing for answers. But what they don't realize is that this is the moment she's watching closely, not consciously, but emotionally. How you respond to her silence tells her more about you than anything you say when things are good. If you get anxious, she feels it. If you start begging for her to talk, she senses it. But when you stay calm, when you don't chase her or demand her emotional availability, you send her a completely different signal. You're telling her, without words, I'm not here to control you. I'm not here to fix you. I'm here to hold steady while you move through whatever you need. That kind of calm confidence creates a deep sense of safety. And when a woman feels safe with you in silence, she starts trusting you more than she can explain. It's not about fixing the silence or rushing her back into good energy. It's about showing her that your stability doesn't depend on her mood. And that's when emotional attachment begins. Quietly, powerfully, naturally. Most men don't realize that emotional safety is the foundation of real attraction. It's easy to show up when everything is light and fun, but the true test of a man is how he handles emotions, especially hers. When a woman brings her emotions into the room, whether it's frustration, sadness, confusion, or vulnerability, many men instinctively react by trying to solve it, defend themselves, or run from it. They don't mean harm, but their need to fix or avoid uncomfortable feelings makes her feel misunderstood, unseen, or worse, judged. But here's the truth. A woman doesn't need you to fix her feelings. She doesn't need you to give solutions unless she asks. What she truly needs is to feel like she can be emotional around you without it becoming a problem. She's not testing you on purpose, but deep down, she's wondering, can I actually be myself around this man? Can I bring all of me here and not have him flinch? And that's why the man who stays grounded, who doesn't rush to solve her or change the subject, stands out. You don't interrupt. You don't rush her. You don't need to defend your position or explain yourself to make her calm down. Instead, you just hold steady, you breathe, you listen, not to respond or win, but to understand. That steady, grounded presence makes her feel something rare, emotional safety. And here's the thing. Once a woman feels emotionally safe with you, the attachment starts forming on a deeper level than words can reach. She doesn't fall for your explanations or your defenses. She falls for the way you don't get shaken by her storms. You become the anchor she didn't even realize she was searching for. And from that safety, real emotional connection begins to grow. There's something magnetic about a man who protects his own energy, not in a selfish or arrogant way, but in a way that says, I know who I am, and I don't give that away lightly. Most men don't realize how powerful this is. They fall into the trap of over-explaining themselves, over-texting, over-chasing, trying to win a woman's attention or approval by giving too much of themselves too soon. But that energy is weak. It feels needy, and neediness never builds attraction. It repels it. A woman doesn't fall in love with a man who needs her for validation. She falls for the man who respects himself enough to choose where his energy goes. When you don't react to every little thing, when you don't rush to prove yourself, when you don't beg for her time or approval, you give off a completely different energy. It's not that you don't care, it's that you care about yourself first. That self-respect is felt on a level deeper than words. Women are drawn to that kind of energy because it feels stable. It feels safe. It feels rare. And when you combine that with quiet leadership, making decisions confidently, moving with purpose, planning without hesitation, you create a different experience for her. You're not leading to control her. You're leading because that's who you are, with or without her. And that energy creates space for her to relax around you. She doesn't have to fight for control. She doesn't have to second-guess you. She starts trusting you naturally because your life already has direction. That's when emotional attachment grows, not because you chased her, but because she felt drawn into your world. Real leadership isn't loud. It's steady. And that steady energy is what separates you from every other man she's met. Most men don't realize that a woman isn't falling for how perfect you can make her feel. She's falling for how safe she feels to be imperfect around you. Anyone can show up when things are easy, when she's smiling, laughing, confident, and glowing. But the real test is how you handle her when she's not at her best. When she's moody, distant, insecure, or unsure of herself, that's when the truth about you comes out. That's when she's paying attention, even if she doesn't know it. See, most men start pulling away or getting irritated when a woman isn't in a good mood. Some even judge her for being too emotional, too sensitive, too difficult. But here's the thing. She's not testing you to be manipulative. She's testing you to see if you're emotionally safe. Can you hold space for the full version of her, not just the pretty parts? Can you sit with her uncertainty without needing her to get over it just to make you comfortable? When you don't flinch at her flaws, when you don't shame her or try to fix her emotional waves, something powerful happens. She relaxes. She lets her guard down. She starts showing you the parts of herself that she normally hides from the world. And when a woman feels like she can be seen in her imperfections and still be accepted, that's where real attachment is born. It's not about being the man who makes her feel perfect. It's about being the man who makes her feel safe to be imperfect. That's the kind of connection that doesn't fade because it's not built on fantasy or performance. It's built on reality. And women don't walk away from the men who make them feel safe to be fully themselves. That's real attraction. The irony of attraction is that the more complete you are without her, the more she starts wanting to be part of your world. Most men don't understand this. They think being available, eager, and constantly present will win her over. But the opposite is true. Women are naturally drawn to men who are already moving, already building, already living with purpose. Why? Because that kind of energy feels alive. It feels magnetic. It feels like something she wants to join. Not save, not complete, but witness and be part of. When a man is fully living his life, he doesn't need to talk about his goals to impress anyone. He becomes his goals. His actions speak for him. His time has value. His focus has direction. And his future has shape. And when a woman sees that, something happens inside her. She starts wondering where she fits into that world, not because you made her chase, but because she feels drawn into your momentum. That's the beginning of emotional gravity. Emotional gravity isn't about being cold or distant. It's about being centered. It's about having such a strong relationship with yourself that you don't get thrown off balance by temporary emotions or someone else's approval. You're not desperate for connection, not because you don't care, but because you already feel whole without it. This is when curiosity becomes desire. Desire becomes emotional attachment. Why? Because emotional control is rare. Most people are chasing attention, chasing validation, chasing someone to fill their emptiness. But when she sees a man who's already full, already moving, already whole, that's when she relaxes into the connection. Not because you forced it, but because she trusts it. And that trust builds something no words or tricks ever could. Real love that lasts.